So the flower and the inflorescence. So first of all, flower is the reproductive part of the plant. From flower, what you will get? Pink seeds. Fruit. From flower, you get fruit, and from the fruit, you will get seeds. Okay. Now, a flower is a modified shoot. Okay. It is a modified shoot wherein the shoot apical meristem changes into floral meristem. This is the end part of the shoot. Okay. The end part of the shoot gets modified into floral meristem. Means it will give rise to flower. Floral meristem will give rise to flower. That is different parts of the flower. The four walls of the flower. Internodes do not elongate and the axis gets condensed. The internodes, no, here afterwards, internodes will get, it do not get elongated. It gets condensed. Okay. The apex produces various floral appendages laterally at successive nodes instead of leaves. So instead of producing leaves at the nodes, no, here there will be small nodes which are very close to each other. Instead of making nodes, no, it will produce various floral appendages. Like it will make calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. That part it will give. It will not give leaf. When the shoot tips transformed into flower, it is called solitary. Solitary means single flower. Next, the flower and the inflorescence. There are two types: racemose and cymose. Okay, very, very important. Racemose and cymose. Inflorescence is the arrangement of flowers, arrangement of cluster of flowers on the floral axis is called inflorescence. How the flowers are arranged on the axis based on whether the apex get converted into flower or continues to grow. There are two types. Here, if you see here, the apex continues to grow. Okay. Here also the apex continues to grow and it will finally give flower. But these flowers will be the young one. At one stage, this will start blooming, this will fall off. Then this will start growing, this will bloom, bloom, bloom. And at one stage, this will stop. But the youngest flower will be at this tip. Similarly, in what happens in racemose, you know, at the tip only one flower will grow. First flower will grow at the tip, and then the remaining flowers will grow at the base. This will be ulta, that is opposite. Okay. In racemose, at the tip continues to grow. The tip will continues to grow, and it will give rise to buds. Those buds will give rise new flowers. In cymose, at the tip only one flower will grow first, and it will stop the growth of the tip. Okay? That is called cymose. So the difference in racemose and cymose, in racemose, in this, the main axis continues to grow. The main axis, this axis will continue to grow up. It keeps on going up, grow. Here, you see, these are the older flowers, these are the older flowers, and these are the younger flowers. Okay, these are the young ones. This will continue to grow. But flowers are born laterally in acropetal succession. Acropetal means the older ones at the base, the new ones or the younger ones at the tip. In the main axis, that is in cymose, the main axis terminates into flower. This main axis, no, it terminates into flower. Hence, there is limited growth. This continues to grow. Here it is limited growth. The flowers are born on basipetal order. You can see here, these are the older flowers. Based on the shape, size you see. These are the older flowers and the younger flowers will be at the base. That is called basipetal. Okay, what we have done next. Then the parts. Okay, the flower, it is the reproductive unit in the angiosperm. It is meant for sexual reproduction. A flower has a stalk. Okay, it has a stalk. It has a stalk which is called as pedicel. Okay, what is the stalk of the leaf called? Flower, it is called pedicel. Leaf, it is called petiole. And of fruit, it is called as peduncle. Okay, flower, pedicel, fruit, peduncle, and leaf, petiole. It is swollen and is called thalamus. Okay, this part is called as the thalamus. It is swollen and it is called as thalamus or the receptacle. Receptacle because on this thalamus you will get all the four walls. From this thalamus, you will get a calyx, you will get a corolla, sepal, petal, androecium, gynoecium. Reduced leaf found at the base of the pedicel is called bracts. At the base of the pedicel, no, here there will be at the base of the pedicel. There are reduced leaf. Okay, these leaves. These are called as bracts. Then flowers with bracts are called as bracted, and those without bracts are called as ebracted. If flower it has bract, then we call it as bracted flower. Some flower will not have bracts, they are called as ebracted. Next, the four walls of the flower: calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. Androecium is the male reproductive part, gynoecium is the female reproductive part. Calyx is made up of sepals. Okay, these sepals, all the calyx are made up of sepals. Corolla is made up of petals. These petals, a group of petal you can call it as corolla. A group of sepals is calyx. Then we have androecium. This is androecium. Okay. This part. This is androecium. Androecium is made up of filament and stamen. Now this is filament, this strong tall structure, and this is anther. Together we call it as stamen. So androecium is made up of many stamens. Gynoecium is made up of many carpels. One carpel will have stigma, style, and ovary. Okay. So calyx, for match the column you can ask, calyx will be sepals, corolla will be petals, androecium is stamen, and gynoecium is carpel. Next, the flower. In some flowers like lily, the calyx and corolla are not distinct. Okay, the calyx and corolla are not distinct. It is called as perianth. What do you mean by calyx and corolla is not distinct? Means the calyx and corolla are joined. Calyx and corolla are joined. For example, here you see this, at least you can distinguish. But if you see a actual flower, this calyx and corolla, it is just joint like. You cannot differentiate between calyx and corolla. Or sometimes the calyx, instead of being green, it will be colorful. Okay, so that is called perianth. Okay, perianth means the calyx and corolla are not distinct. Then, when the flower has all androecium and gynoecium, it is called as bisexual. Androecium is the male reproductive part, gynoecium is the female. So if it has both the sexes, it will be called as bisexual. If it has only one androecium or either gynoecium, then it is called as unisexual. Common example of unisexual, you remember papaya and avocado. Papaya and avocado. Now this is symmetry of flower. Based on symmetry of flower, there are three types: actinomorphic, zygomorphic, and asymmetric. Actinomorphic means radial symmetry. We have studied symmetry, so you know what is this. Zygomorphic means bilateral symmetry, and asymmetric means irregular symmetry. If you see the first figure, this is radial symmetry. In any direction you cut, you will get two equal half. This you can cut in three different directions. Bilateral symmetry means you can cut only in one direction to get two equal half. And irregular means you cannot have this two half. Okay, you cannot cut it into two equal parts. Then actinomorphic radial symmetry. Here a flower can be divided into two equal radial half in any radial plane passing through the center. Example: mustard, datura, chili, shoe flower. Zygomorphic bilateral symmetry. Here a flower can be divided into two similar halves only in one vertical plane. You can cut only in one vertical plane. This you can cut here in one vertical plane. Example: pea, gulmohar, peel, and cassia. And the last one is asymmetric. Here a flower cannot be divided into two similar halves by any vertical line passing through the center. Example: canna. This is a canna. This you must have seen in the garden. It looks like the leaves are like small banana leaves. Okay, canna it is called. Then, based on the number of floral appendages, flower can be trimerous, tetramerous, and pentamerous. Okay, so trimerous means it will have 3 petals, or it will have 6 petals. Multiple of 3. Trimerous. It can have 3 or 6. Tetra means it will have 4 or 8. 4 petals, 4 sepals. Okay. And penta means it is 5. Most of the flowers you see 5 or it is many. Example, rose. There are many petals. Okay. So, based on the position of calyx, corolla, and androecium in respect to the ovary, it is of 3 types. Hypogynous. Where is the ovary? Where is the calyx and corolla? This is ovary and where is calyx? Now, hypo means the calyx, corolla, and androecium are below the ovary. This is ovary, no? This is ovary, and all the remaining parts are below the ovary. What is perigynous? It's middle. Ovary is in between. See. Epigynous, you can see clearly it is above. These 3 all are above. Ovary is down. Perigynous in between. See. Which mean? Okay, like in between. Hypo means ovary is above. Peri means ovary is with the middle of androecium, calyx, and corolla. And epigynous means ovary is below the calyx, corolla, and androecium. So these simple definitions are there. Okay. Now they have given, see, hypogynous. Here gynoecium occupies the highest position while other parts are situated below it. Gynoecium is at the highest position, other parts are below it. The ovary is called as superior. Okay. Example, mustard, China rose, and brinjal. Then we have perigynous. The gynoecium is situated in the center and the other parts of the flower are located at the rim of the thallus, almost at same level. That means the ovary and other parts are at the same level. Here the ovary is called as half inferior. Example, plum, rose, peach. Okay. This is the flower of, I think, not hibiscus, here is red. Apple, कौन सा apple वो? Wax apple. Jamun. Jamun, not jam. Jam they are called. Jamun is gulab, this, the other small one.
Love apple.
Love apple, wax apple, you know, no, love apple. Love apple is red color. Wax apple is white color. They are both same. Love apple and wax apple. Only the color of love apple is red. Then epigynous, here the margin of the thalamus grow upward enclosing the ovary. The thalamus, this is the thalamus green part. It is growing upward and it is closing the ovary, completely getting fused with it. Other parts of the floral arise above the ovary and the ovary is inferior. Example, guava, cucumber, ray florets of sunflower. So parts of the flower, calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. Okay. We'll see this next time. Okay. It is simple. What is the function of calyx, corolla? Okay. This was there in class 9. Now let's stop.